Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Live with Littledata. I'm Edward, and I'm joined today by Riccardo from Subjectlime. Welcome.
Hi, Edward, and thank you for having me today.
Yeah, no worries. And thank you for joining. You're actually the other side of the world from me at the moment in Bali. So I hope it's nice there. It's actually ironic because I look like I'm by a Balinese swimming pool, and you look like you're in a WeWork office, and it's really the other way around.
Yeah, it doesn't like Bali style here at all, but I can promise you I'm here for at least for the time being.
Very good. Um, Now, tell us a little bit about Subjectlime and what you do.
So yeah, basically, Subjectlime is the company, the agency for 7 and 8 figures DTC brands that I founded together with my business partner Ferdinando. And we basically help those brands with their growth and retention through email and SMS marketing. We started as freelancers almost 5 years ago. And then we built a team that now counts 13 people. And basically, we work all over the world with DTC brands and wholesale brands lately. We have become certified Klaviyo Master Platinum partner because Klaviyo is actually our main partner. We work mainly with brands using Klaviyo, using Shopify, um, and and yeah, that's long story short. We started as freelancers, and now we have a team of 13 beautiful people working with us.
Excellent. So, yeah, please ask any questions as we go along. We'll be talking about email marketing and specifically abandoned checkouts and abandoned carts. So, yeah, the subject today was really what are the four mistakes to avoid when setting up these flows or setting up the abandoned checkout flows and what's costing brands dollars. So, what's your first common mistake you see?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say, uh, let's start from this. For a DTC brand, abandoned checkouts can represent an average of the average we calculated for the brands we work with, an average of 15.7% of their total revenue. So being able to recover abandoned checkouts is absolutely crucial, especially when a brand is going to scale from 7 to 8 figures, because margins go lower and they have like many different kind of issues with the profitability. So being able to recover checkouts is really, really crucial for them. I've audited a lot of accounts. I would say thousands of accounts. Our team did as well. And there are those four common mistakes that we see all the time. And the first one, and it's shocking to me to see these also on some bigger brands, is putting a discount code in the first email. Because the problem here is we do know life is hectic, the attention span is very low, and we most of the people, depending on the industry as well, but most of the people they make a purchase by using their phone. So maybe they are in the metro, or they're working and they get distracted. Someone rings the door, the phone is ringing while they're finalizing the purchase, so they just get distracted. It's physiological, we are humans. And so, what's the point to put a discount code in the first abandoned checkout email? We have this is the highest intent before purchase, so putting a discount will decrease margin, will devalue, and will also negative. So this will result in a negative impact on the brand positioning. So what we usually do instead is working with a collaborative approach from the brand, from a spokesperson, which works really well. Um, and we really go hard on the unique selling proposition so users can see, so people that, especially new customers, can see the value and the benefits over the features. And we add on top of that we really go hard with their proof and user generated content, because these will be really the key. If you mix all these three things, all these three factors, you will see a lot of conversions without giving any discount. So keeping the margins higher and
Yeah.
keeping positioning higher.
Yeah. So basically, just it's more about social proof, like getting people to, other people have bought this product, other people want this thing, rather than saying, "Hey, buy it cheaper."
Absolutely, absolutely. And also showing them, actually showing them that we do care about them. So
Yeah.
we reserved their cart
Yeah.
while they went away.
Yeah. Yeah. There's so much, I think, subtlety in that messaging of how you phrase that. Um, you can basically turn it into a bit of a joke for some brands that, like, oh, oops, you left something to check out. Okay, so basically, don't discount in the first email, but probably do discount, and I think that takes you on to maybe your second point. Do discount for some customers.
Yeah, that's actually something that leads us to the second common mistake I see all the time, which is basically not distinguishing with the new customers and existing customers. Because discounts are not something evil. It's something that can be really helpful to give the little nudge that is needed for some of uh, the people that come to the website, that come to the e-commerce store. So especially within the second and maybe a third email, depending on the brand, depending on the tone of voice, depending on the products and many other things, you can give them a discount. But the important thing is to distinguish within new customers, and there you can give them a discount, whether it's a percentage discount, a fixed amount discount, or a like a free shipping, depending on the products, depending on the value. We typically give percentage discount on lower ticket products and fixed discount on higher ticket products, or we give free shipping when it's like physical goods, and we want to keep it more neutral, I would say, according to the discount policy of the brand, of their margins. um, and why is this so important? Why is it so important to distinguish within these two categories? Because new customers, they might need to be convinced a little bit to finalize the first purchase. But then if the product is really good, they will need discount all the time. And if you give them discounts all the time, as a good friend of mine says, they will literally uh, get trained on expect a reward every time they abandon their checkouts.
Yeah.
And so there are people that are, waiting just for that.
Absolutely. I always think of the sort of, Pavlov's sort of experiments on animals. You're basically training someone to just hit the button when they see the discount. And I was saying I have this particular brand I buy from regularly. But I say regularly, like it's a kind of premium meat boxes, but I don't actually need it weekly, monthly. So maybe I buy every quarter, maybe. And the sure as anything, after a couple of months of not purchasing, they'll just send me a discount. Oh, it looks like you haven't bought for a while. Here, have 10% off. I would have bought without the 10% off, but now I'm just conditioned to wait until that voucher comes through. Thank you very much. So yeah, it's really you're programming your customers to wait for the reward.
Absolutely, absolutely. And people are getting way more sophisticated in their purchasing behavior. So they are shopping around, they are evaluating different possibilities, different solutions, and they get used to abandon their checkouts because they learn from a lot of different brands that if they do so, they will most likely receive a discount. So this is why for the existing customers instead, they try the product, they know the brand well. So what we do is we really leverage more urgency, and we leverage also some different social proof and user generated content. So if in the first email with no discounts we use a certain kind of a social proof addressing like some kind of objections, in the second email we're going to address maybe different objections, different pain points, and also a bit of scarcity, a bit of urgency, always according to the brand. if it's consistent with the brand.
And let's talk about the timing here, because like, I think one of the points you made earlier was that in some cases users are just distracted. It's not they don't want to buy; they actually have any objections. They were just traveling, or they were maybe they're browsing on the way home from work, and they get home to actually complete the order. So, what's the right sort of timing for sending like the first and second emails after they abandon?
Well, it really depends on the product and the price point, I would say. So there is no golden rule, but as a rule of thumb, what we do is for cheaper products, low ticket products, we go more aggressively because
Mm,
they don't have to evaluate this much. And probably they are shopping around, so they might get convinced on some other stores that go more aggressively. So we wait 1 to 2 hours usually for those kind of low ticket products, while for higher ticket products, we go around like 4 to 5 hours. But again, this is just a general rule of thumb because it really depends on the brand and it really depends on the custom like the customer audience.
yeah,
So really important, really crucial always to A/B test it.
yeah, good. What's the third reason? What's the third mistake?
This one makes me crazy because I see it all the time, and it's really impacting negatively the conversion rate and the final objective of abandoned checkouts emails, which is having too many call to actions. So, as a general rule, an email should have just like one call to action. This is general rule because it's not actually for abandoned emails, whether it's abandoned carts, abandoned checkouts, browse abandonment, site abandonment. You want them to do one action, especially when they are most likely to make the purchase. So again, the abandoned checkout is the highest intent. We want them to finalize the purchase because they were this far, this close, I would say, to finalize the purchase. So instead of having different call to actions, having the menu, having featured product, we just go for one clear call to action. Because otherwise, we tested it, because we always test even what seems to be just common sense, and you will see a lower conversion rate because it's physiological. They get distracted, they go on the website, they may add something more, and then they just leave.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as running our own email marketing, I know this for sure that it's so tempting to, and I find when some of our team are writing these emails, they're just tempted to, link them here and link them there. But as you say, really, it's very simple. They've already got this product, and you just need to get them to click there to get to the checkout. And I mentioned a little plug for Littledata at this point, because one of the things we can do with abandoned cart emails is enable you to just send that checkout URL direct from the email, because obviously you don't want to send them back to the product page, because it's like another hop they've got to step into to then go and check out. You do want to send them straight into the Shopify checkout, so there's one click to continue.
Yeah, and that's actually a game changer because it increases the conversion rate like a lot.
Yeah,
Because you bring them straight to the checkout, so they just have to finalize the purchase.
yeah, exactly. And I think statistically on Shopify, about for every 6% of people, well, about 6% of people add to cart, but only about 4% ever actually start the checkout. So there's immediately a kind of 30% drop off just between getting to that first step of the checkout. Okay, awesome. So yeah, third point is one CTA, one focus point. What's the fourth mistake?
Yeah, this fourth mistake is a bit more technical, but is something that is costing brands a lot of money, and we saw the before after with some of our clients. So basically, just relying on the EFP tracking, on cookies tracking nowadays, where the market is and also the email providers are becoming more aggressive. There are ad blocks, there are VPNs and stuff. Um, it's causing brands to lose a lot of potential revenue, a lot of potential sales. So not having server-side data and just relying on ESPs data, on cookies data, actually leads brands to leave a lot, like some other revenue, and sometimes a lot of revenue on the table. So, and this is where you guys are killing it, because we implemented Littledata on a couple of brands we're working it, and especially the first brand we partner with on implementing Littledata. So it's a smaller brand. They are doing around 100K per month, and in just the first 30 days, thanks to identity resolution, and also thanks to and this is more related to abandoned carts, also to this feature about embedding the checkout URL in even if they just abandon their cart, as well as being able to show them all the products they added to their cart, is really a game changer. So we were able to add another 6%. We're very close to 6% to their revenue in the first 30 days by implementing Littledata, and having those flows set up, especially browse abandonment flow and abandoned checkout and abandoned cart. They produce like 6% more of their total revenue. And imagine these at scale, where brands are going from 7 to 8 figures. Like, this is very important for brands doing 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, 8 figures, 7 figures, whatever the brand you can imagine. If you're able to add another 5, 6, 7% to their revenue,
Right.
and I'm just talking about abandoned carts and checkouts, because then if you keep browse abandonment as well into account, we go like to 8, 9, 10% more.
Yep. It's really good to express it that way. Often we talk about an increment of what they're already doing, and I guess the one objection we get there from brands is, well, this stuff all feels like details. I'm focused on the big picture, but this is the big picture, right? No one's going to turn down a high single digit percent to your overall revenue. That's the kind of growth that Imagine the cost if you're using pay per click ads. Imagine what that would cost you to acquire that amount of new business. It would be costing way more, and we're getting that's, as you say, that 6% increase for them is they're getting a sort of 20% return on investment from Littledata's product. So it's I would challenge any brand say they're making more than 20 times return on ad spend with Facebook or Google. It doesn't happen.
It's definitely like that. And again, we are living hard times, both from the technical side, because everyone is becoming more aggressive in their policies and the things they do. Customers are becoming more sophisticated, so their behavior is more unpredictable. They are more used to search around, shopping around before making the final decision. So being able to, and of course, talking about brands, if you are able, especially when they grow, being able to add another 6, 7, 8, 10% to their revenue, it's something that can make a difference. Because especially now that cost per acquisition is such a pain point for every brand you can talk to, every brand owner I talk to, their first problem is cost per acquisition skyrocketing, and then retention rate plummeting, because people are becoming less loyal. And this is where we kick in and we help them growing their business.
And one of the things you were mentioning is that basically having improved um, targeting possibilities of email. So one of the things was about being able to target the whole contents of the cart with abandoned cart emails. Tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, this is actually something in between, uh, about like customer behavior and also brand needs, because some brands, they need to show to their customers everything that was in the cart, depending on the brand, depending on this on the sales cycle. But sometimes, just showing like the last product they add to their cart is not effective, because maybe it was just randomly one of the products they wanted to purchase, but it was not the real product they added, like they started their cart for.
Yeah,
So being
yeah,
able to say, okay, this is what you were searching for, this is your whole cart, and now we are reserving it to you. Like compounding all of these things together will result, and we see it by data, will result in more sales.
yeah. And we've seen this a lot with brands that have like maybe a minimum free shipping value, so that they come to the site for one thing they really wanted, and they add maybe another one or two things just to get them over the free shipping. So if you retarget that last thing in the cart, it's like I didn't really want that anyway. I only got that because of because I was trying to get to the free shipping threshold. It's actually the first item that came in for that I really wanted, and that's the one that I'm going to be motivated to come back for.
Yeah, 100%.
Or actually, a more extreme version, one of the brands we tried in the product they automatically had a free gift to the cart every time someone purchased. So again, to retarget the last product would just have basically retargeted the free gift, which is obviously stupid in terms of something they didn't choose. But automatically added. Cool. And yeah, so just finish the point about better server side data. I mean, what do you think brands are missing out on by not having a solution like Littledata? What's the sort of opportunity cost for them?
I mean, as you mentioned, having a channel that is able to generate 20x, 30x the ROI in terms of returns on investments. It's in a tough moment right now, like this one, where from an economic perspective, like globally speaking, because this is valid, we work with brands all over the world, uh, and this is true like in each and every single country, because we are living tough times. Let's say it clear. We are living tough times. There is a lot of instability. So a lot of brands, they are suffering because of these increased cost per acquisition and lower retention. So it's both the problem, like it's both the things. It's acquisition and retention are becoming more and more difficult over time. So being able, and then as mentioned before, um, providers are becoming more and more aggressive.
Yeah.
So, and then we have problems with over attribution. We have problems of any kind. So
Mhm.
having like in this case, like having server side data, being able to track anonymous uh, events, it's something that is becoming more and more important for each and every single brand, no matter what they sell, no matter the market. It's something that is costing them, the opportunity cost is that 6, 7, 8, 10% of their revenue, and they like each single penny is counting today.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for explaining, Ricardo. I hope you continue to have a great business subject line. There's plenty of demand out there from people wanting to improve their messaging and their retention, as you say, in this current climate. And thank you very much for explaining what mistakes to avoid. And I'm sure I'll see you again soon. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It was my pleasure, and hope to see you soon.